Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a deep dive into the world of sophrology.
It's something you specifically requested we cover.
You've been checking out RoleCatcher for career options.
And this one really piqued your interest.
Right.
So we're going way beyond the basics here.
Really going to uncover if this could be a good career path.
Especially in our modern world.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's so stressed out these days.
It's interesting you're drawn to sophrology now.
I mean, with all the burnout and anxiety we see.
It's definitely a path worth exploring in depth.
Totally agree.
And we've got a ton of info from RoleCatcher to guide us.
What are? But first things first.
For anyone who's totally unfamiliar,
How would you even sum up sophrology?
give us the elevator pitch.
Okay, so imagine this.
You're learning to combine deep, mindful breathing,
Kind of like in yoga.
but you're also using visualization techniques.
And these techniques, they're not just airy-fairy.
They actually help you reframe stressful situations.
Okay.
So you're learning practical tools.
To manage your mental and physical well-being.
So it's not just lighting incense.
And hoping for the best?
No, not at all.
This sounds like it's structured.
Almost like physical therapy, but for your mind.
You've hit on a key point.
RoleCatcher is very clear about this.
Physician oversight is super important in sophrology,
It's designed to be part of traditional healthcare.
which instantly makes it feel more credible.
Yeah, less woo-woo for sure.
Exactly.
And I bet that opens doors.
To working with other healthcare providers, too.
For sure.
And because of that medical foundation...
Sophrologists can work with a huge variety of people,
Oh, wow.
from those with chronic illnesses.
To those who just want better stress management tools,
So it's really adaptable.
it's not like a one-size-fits-all meditation app.
Right.
And I think that's where the human element comes in.
The sophrologists themselves?
It's about guiding someone, isn't it?
Exactly. RoleCatcher calls it a dynamic relaxation method.
Meaning it's tailored to the individual
Okay.
and their specific needs,
You're teaching them techniques
but also empowering them.
to manage their own well-being over the long term.
So like a coach,
But instead of physical fitness,
it's mental and emotional fitness.
precisely.
I'm starting to see the appeal here
RoleCatcher gave an example.
of what a junior sophrologist might do.
They use the phrase assisting senior practitioners.
Sounds like a very hands-on learning experience.
It's like an apprenticeship
like those old school workshops.
where you learn by doing.
By working alongside someone experienced.
Yeah, so you're not just handed a textbook.
You're immersed in the practice right from day one
I bet that's so valuable.
for developing empathy and communication skills,
Absolutely.
especially when you're working so closely with people,
Makes total sense you'd learn by doing.
especially in a field like this.
But I'm curious about the specific skills needed.
To be like a successful sophrologist,
Yeah,
it's more than just being a calming presence, right?
absolutely.
RoleCatcher highlights several key skills
And you actually find that they're valuable.
in lots of professions, not just sophrology.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Okay, so spill the beans.
What are we talking about here?
Communication and active listening are huge.
Okay.
You're not lecturing your clients.
You're really engaging in a dialogue.
To understand their unique needs
Right.
and tailor your approach accordingly.
It's like that saying.
No, you got to meet people where they're at.
Right, exactly.
And speaking of meeting people where they're at,
RoleCatcher mentioned sophrologists.
working with such a wide range of people and situations,
How does that actually work in practice?
well, that's where that dynamic part comes in.
Like you might guide one client
Through a visualization exercise,
to help them with work stress.
while another client,
Might benefit more from gentle physical movements,
combined with focused breathing.
to address chronic pain.
Oh, interesting.
So you're drawing on different techniques.
Depending on the person and what they need.
Exactly.
That's cool.
What about the emotional aspect, though?
Because working with people,
Who are stressed or anxious all the time?
that's got to take a toll on you.
That's another really critical point.
RoleCatcher stressed, empathy and compassion.
Being essential for a sophrologist. You're holding space
For people's vulnerabilities.
and helping them feel heard and understood
Yeah.
without judgment.
Which makes me think about the career side of things.
RoleCatcher mentions high earning potential,
But also limited job opportunities.
especially when you're first starting out.
That feels like a bit of a catch-22.
You've touched on a really important point there.
It's crucial to go in with realistic expectations
While there is definitely potential,
to earn a good living as a sophrologist.
it's not a guaranteed path to riches,
Okay.
especially not right away.
You need to be really passionate about it
Dedicated and willing to put in the work.
to build your practice.
So it's not just a job, it's a calling.
Exactly.
You really have to believe in the power of sophrology.
To help people.
Yeah.
And speaking of different paths within sophrology,
RoleCatcher pointed out,
that it often goes hand in hand with other therapies.
like acupuncture or massage,
That's right.
which makes sense because it speaks to
This whole trend of holistic health.
recognizing that our minds and bodies are connected.
If you're stressed.
It manifests physically, the whole package deal,
Precisely.
and that interconnectedness is often reflected.
In the career paths of many sophrologists.
Oh, so.
Well, some might specialize.
In a particular area
Like, say, stress management.
for corporate executives,
Okay.
while others might incorporate
Elements of other modality.
into their practice.
So you could be a sophrologist.
Who also practices mindfulness meditation.
Or incorporates aromatherapy into your sessions.
Exactly.
Like creating a custom toolkit.
For your clients.
Right. And that's another reason
Why ongoing professional development.
is so crucial in this field.
RoleCatcher really emphasized that.
Makes sense what we know about the brain.
The
And
body
that mind-body connection.
is always evolving,
Absolutely.
and that's what makes this field so exciting.
You're not just learning a set of techniques
It's a lifelong journey.
of discovery and growth.
It's about embracing that growth mindset.
That lifelong learning aspect is really cool.
But for someone totally green, just starting out,
Where do they even begin?
it's got to feel overwhelming.
Right?
Even with something like RoleCatcher to help.
It's true, taking that first step can feel daunting.
But RoleCatcher had some good advice.
They recommend getting hands-on experience first.
Okay.
Like diving right into a certification program.
Not necessarily.
They actually suggest volunteering first
Interesting.
or shadowing more experienced sophrologists.
Like think the wellness centers,
Hospitals.
maybe even rehab facilities.
Just to get a feel for the work.
See if it really clicks with you
Okay.
before you make a bigger commitment.
So test the waters before you dive in.
Exactly.
Like an internship for your soul.
I love that.
And don't forget about practicing on your own.
Like friends and family,
Oh, right, of course.
offer them like free or discounted sessions
Just to help you build confidence.
and refine your techniques.
Yeah, practice makes progress, right?
Exactly.
That's true for everything.
Speaking of which,
RoleCatcher also talked about formal training.
what does that look like for sophrology?
So they highlighted a couple different options
There are these shorter certification programs,
to give you a good foundation.
like the core techniques,
Mm.
the ethical side of things,
Mhm.
all that good stuff.
And then later on,
As you get more experience
you might even consider a master's degree.
in a related field like psychology or counseling,
So you can really specialize.
make it your own.
Exactly.
It's really cool.
And of course, RoleCatcher mentioned networking.
But that always feels like generic advice.
Right.
Is it actually crucial in this field?
Networking is huge in this field.
Especially in something like sophrology,
It's all built on that trust.
that personal connection.
Okay. Yeah.
Think about it. People are more likely.
You work with someone they've been referred to. Right.
Or they've heard good things about.
So how do you even network in this field?
Are we talking conferences, online forums?
All of the above.
RoleCatcher specifically mentioned industry events.
Professional organizations.
Okay.
Even just reaching out to local practitioners.
So pick their brains.
Ah, that's a good idea.
And online platforms like LinkedIn.
They're great for this kind of thing.
True.
It's like building your own board of advisors.
But for your career,
I like that.
that's a good takeaway.
So becoming a sophrologist, it sounds like.
That's way more than.
Just learning these relaxation techniques.
It's about combining
With the skill.
and a real desire to help others.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
It requires a deep understanding of people.
Both ourselves and others.
Yeah.
It's a profession with so much potential for both the practitioners,
And the people they help.
especially in a world,
That just feels constantly chaotic.
and demanding.
Totally.
Maybe that's why we're seeing so much interest in this career path.
It's like sophrology.
Is this antidote to modern stress?
It's definitely a timely path
And one that really encourages all of us
to slow down,
to breathe.
to tap into our inner strength.
And on that note of inner peace,
We're going to wrap up.
this deep dive into the world of sophrology,
We hope you found it insightful.
maybe even a little bit inspiring.
Remember the journey of self-discovery.
And growth, it never really ends.
Keep asking questions.
Stay curious.
And who knows?
Maybe sophrology will become part of your story.
I love that.
And if it does,
We would love to hear about it.
until next time,
Thanks for joining us.
on the deep dive.